For years, the whole conversation around crypto security was purely digital. We talked about firewalls, cold wallets, encryption that was supposed to be unbreakable. But a really grim new frontier has opened up, and it's one that makes all that digital armor totally useless. So today, we're going to dive into the rise of physical attacks on crypto holders.
And this quote, wow, it just cuts right to the heart of the issue, doesn't it? The strongest cryptography in the world means absolutely nothing when faced with the most basic, primitive form of coercion. Your digital security is completely irrelevant if your physical safety is on the line.
And this shift in strategy, it's just brutally efficient. I mean, why would you spend months trying to crack military-grade encryption when you could spend a few hours terrorizing someone into just giving you the keys? It's a horrible, low-tech solution to a very high-tech problem.
Okay, so in this explainer, here's what we're going to cover. We'll start with this new threat frontier and the really alarming data behind it. Then we'll break down the anatomy of these attacks, look at a pretty chilling real-world case, and then we'll get to the defender's playbook, how you can actually protect yourself. Let's get right into it.
So what exactly are we talking about here? Well, this threat has a name that, kind of ironically, actually started out in a satirical webcomic before it became a terrifying reality for a whole lot of people. Yeah, the term wrench attack comes from an old XKCD comic. It was a joke, right? The idea that a hacker's fantasy of some supercomputer cracking a key is nothing compared to the reality of a criminal just using a $5 wrench. It's a darkly funny name for a deadly serious crime. What's sometimes called rubber hose cryptanalysts, basically extracting secrets through torture and intimidation. The scale of this problem is growing at a really terrifying rate. I mean, in just the last few years, we're talking about nearly $128 million stolen through kidnapping alone. And the really crucial point here is these are just the numbers that get reported. So many victims stay silent, either out of fear or shame, which means the true scale of this problem is likely much, much larger. And this just perfectly illustrates the trend. We see this jump from 41 documented attacks in 2024 to around 70 in 2025. That is a nearly 70% increase in just a single year. This is not some niche problem anymore. This is a rapidly escalating global threat.
So how do these attacks actually play out? Well, they aren't just random acts of violence, not at all. They are the final, brutal stage of a very methodical, very calculated process that almost always starts online.
So who's actually carrying out these attacks? You can forget that old stereotype of a lone hacker in a dark basement. The reality is, well, it's disturbingly diverse. We're seeing these organized tactical syndicates, sure, but also peers, acquaintances, even people from inside a victim's own social circle. A lot of them are young, teens to early 20s, who met on gaming platforms. And their motive is simple. Crypto offers a fast, irreversible payout that's a lot harder to trace than some traditional bank transfer. The life cycle of these attacks is just chillingly professional. It all kicks off with digital reconnaissance. Attackers are scraping your social media for any hint of wealth, a new car, a fancy watch. They're hacking emails to look for exchange statements. They take all this data, aggregate it, and build a detailed profile to pick their target with absolute precision. The physical violence, that's just the endgame. And that endgame can take a lot of different forms. We've seen these brutal home invasions where victims are zip-tied and beaten, kidnappings that can last for weeks, really sophisticated social engineering like luring people through dating apps or setting up fake business deals, and even chemical attacks, like a case in London where a victim was drugged by a fake rideshare driver. To make this all feel a bit more real, let's look at one of the most infamous examples, the St. Felix Syndicate. Their story really shows you just how organized and utterly ruthless these crews have become. Okay, so this syndicate was incredibly sophisticated. They were hacking emails to spy on targets, carrying out these almost military-style home invasions, and then using privacy coins like Monero and decentralized exchanges to launder millions. But their fatal mistake was surprisingly simple. After all that hard work to hide their tracks, they tried to cash out on a regulated U.S. exchange using their real names and their real driver's licenses. And the result of that one single mistake? The ringleader, Remy Ray St. Felix, was sentenced to 47 years in federal prison. To this day, it is still the longest sentence ever handed down in a U.S. crypto-related case. It sent a massive warning shot to other would-be attackers. All right, so we've laid out the problem. It is dark and it is growing. So the obvious question is, what can you actually do about it?
How do you defend yourself against a threat that just walks right past all of your digital walls? The good news is there are powerful defenses out there, but they really require a new way of thinking, one that merges how you act and behave with the technology you're using.
Now, this is the most crucial point. Your first and your best line of defense has absolutely nothing to do with technology. It's about your behavior. It's something called operational security, or OpSec, and it's all about reducing your profile and making yourself a much harder target.
So here are some really concrete principles. First, stop flaunting wealth online. Just stop. Create dedicated emails and phone numbers that you only use for crypto stuff. When you travel, use a clean device that has zero access to your wallets. And if you have to do a peer-to-peer transaction, for God's sake, meet in a crowded public place. Don't make yourself an easy mark. Okay, now for the tech side. Once you've got your behavior locked down, the single most powerful technological tool against a physical attack is what's called a multi-signature or multisig wallet. Think about it. A standard wallet has one key. If an attacker gets that key, they get everything. It's a single point of failure. But a multisig wallet that requires multiple keys to approve a transaction, say 2 out of 3 keys, this completely gets rid of that single point of failure. And here's how this actually works in practice. You separate the keys geographically. You keep one at home, one in a bank vault, maybe one at your office. Now, if an attacker invades your home and holds you at gunpoint, you physically cannot do what they're demanding. You only have one of the 2 keys you need. It makes the entire attack totally pointless. And this all brings us to the new paradigm, the new way of thinking. We have got to stop thinking about crypto security as just a digital problem. The wall between our digital assets and our physical safety has completely crumbled. True security is holistic. It's got to be both. So I'll just leave you with this one question to ask yourself. Take a hard look at your own setup. Think about your online footprint, your security habits, the tech you're using. Your digital wealth might be protected by the best encryption in the world, but is it physically secure? Because in this day and age, that is the only question that truly matters.